told your friend you're not okay.
Nothing is more terrifying for a superstar than realizing that even their own home, the place that should be their safest, has become their greatest threat. And that's the grim reality that BTS's Jungkook is now facing. In the shadow of global fame, he's faced a series of shocking incidents involving stalkers from various countries, whose actions have created a wave of concern, anger, and sadness across the globe. This isn't just a story of an idol being harassed by obsessive fans, it's a criminal case that's been going on for months and escalating in severity. It all started with a recent report that has riveted the public. A woman has reportedly been wreaking havoc at Jungkook's home in a truly terrifying manner, throwing mysterious letters, hanging photos on the fence, and leaving strange messages around the house. Her actions are not just intrusive, but they violate the boundaries of an individual's privacy and security to a truly alarming extent. What was even more chilling was that the same woman had actually appeared at Jungkook's house a month earlier, on the 13th. She was caught trespassing and was immediately arrested by authorities on charges of trespassing. However, this legal action apparently wasn't enough to stop her. On the 28th of the same month, the woman returned, again breaking the law, this time violating South Korea's Stalking Punishment Act. This escalating situation prompted Jungkook's side to immediately file a restraining order to protect the idol from the increasingly real threat. This case immediately captured public attention, but what many didn't realize was that this series of incidents was just one small part of a terrifying pattern that had been unfolding throughout 2025 and early 2026. Jungkook had faced repeated break-ins, security breaches, and stalking from different individuals from various countries, demonstrating that the threat to his safety was not just local, but transnational. The incident began in June 2025 when a woman from China attempted to enter Jungkook's residence by repeatedly guessing his door passcode. This attempt was successfully stopped, but the incident exposed the public to the existence of individuals who dared to target Jungkook directly and openly. 2 months later, in August 2025, a Korean woman committed an even more extreme offense. She managed to sneak into the basement parking area, an area supposedly only accessible to residents and security personnel. This action prompted HYBE to enhance its internal security protocols, but unfortunately, these preventative measures were not enough to stop further incidents. In November 2025, a Japanese woman was arrested after being caught fiddling with the lock on Jungkook's door for 3 consecutive days. In the security world, such actions constitute a serious and premeditated threat. Not only was it disruptive, but it demonstrated a dangerous level of obsession and persistence. And as if that weren't enough, another incident occurred in December 2025. This time, a Brazilian woman was caught wandering around Jungkook's building, not once, but twice, despite several restraining orders clearly prohibiting her from approaching. These repeated violations demonstrate that some stalkers are undeterred by any legal threat. But the climax came on January 4, 2026. The same Brazilian woman returned for a third time, this time attempting to breach the main security gate. Although she was eventually apprehended, the fact that someone could repeatedly approach and attempt to breach a global celebrity's residence with such recklessness seriously alarmed the public. Not only ARMY, but also the Korean entertainment industry, local security authorities, and even international media began to question, how safe are idols really from physical threats like this? Jungkook's situation opened a major discussion about the vulnerability of celebrity life in the modern era. Despite sophisticated security systems, real threats remain when fanatical obsession turns into criminal activity. An idol's home should be a safe space, a place to rest, recover from a grueling schedule, and be a normal human being behind the camera. But for Jungkook, what should be the most private space has become a focal point for individuals who uncontrollably seek to approach their idol in dangerous ways. The series of incidents that befell Jungkook didn't stop at mere news. After the revelation of case after case involving various stalkers from 4 different countries, China, Korea, Japan, and Brazil, Jungkook's neighborhood transformed into a highly monitored area, like a zone under constant threat. Security guards in the building began changing their guarding patterns, increasing personnel, increasing access control, and even monitoring the public areas near the building with unprecedented vigilance. However, what was most noticeable was the change in atmosphere, an unspoken yet palpable anxiety, like a shadow hanging in the air, a reminder that threats could come at any time, from anyone, and from any direction. The changes also affected Jungkook emotionally and mentally. While he maintained his professionalism, sources within HYBE acknowledged that the psychological stress of these incidents was very real. Imagine living life as a global artist, working hard to deliver the best music, performing on stage, smiling for the cameras, while behind the scenes he had to worry about whether someone would try to break into his home again that day. Even a small sound in the hallway, footsteps at night, or the sound of a building's automatic doors can trigger a sense of alarm that shouldn't be felt by someone who has just returned home to rest. For Jungkook, a sense of security no longer comes automatically as soon as he enters the house, it must be earned. The police handling this case are beginning to map out patterns and possible connections between the perpetrators. Not all the stalkers know each other, but they have one thing in common: each person is willing to travel long distances, long hours, and risk legal consequences just to approach Jungkook in person. Some Korean criminal psychology experts have even begun to weigh in, calling this phenomenon an extreme form of parasocial obsession, a one-way relationship that develops into an unhealthy obsession when someone feels entitled to approach a public figure without limits. In Jungkook's case, that obsession has escalated into a series of dangerous acts involving legal violations, potential physical threats, and mental instability on the part of the perpetrators. HYBE itself is reportedly reviewing its standard artist security protocols. Internally, intense discussions are underway regarding Jungkook's long-term protection, given that he is one of the most famous and beloved idols in the world, making him an easy target for those who lose control of their obsession. There was talk of moving Jungkook to a residence that would be less easily tracked by the public, but such a decision was clearly not simple. Jungkook has a schedule, a job, and a life that must continue, and moving him wasn't just about changing locations, but about creating a new system that would be truly safe, comfortable, and free from threats. Furthermore, security officials were considering adding anti-tailgating technology, advanced facial recognition, and the use of AI to monitor suspicious activity around the property. However, amidst all the security measures, what was most heartbreaking was how ARMY reacted. They weren't just angry or sad, they felt betrayed that the very world that was supposed to protect their idols hadn't been able to do so. Social media was filled with messages of support, campaigns for increased legal protection for celebrities, and a global petition signed by tens of thousands of people. ARMY was sending a strong warning to the public that what happened to Jungkook wasn't just a celebrity being harassed, but a matter of freedom, privacy, and human security. They hoped the world would realize that Jungkook wasn't just a global star, he was a person with a private life that deserved respect. The situation was further complicated when several eyewitnesses revealed that some of the stalkers appeared to be well prepared. Some of them carried notes, maps of the area, and even understood the building's movement schedule. This prompted the police to expand their investigation to determine whether other parties were assisting them, or whether they were acting on information leaked from the media. Although no indication of involvement has been found, the police are taking no chances and are continuing to explore unsolved possibilities. And while the investigation continues, while restraining orders are issued, and security protocols are strengthened, one big question remains: how long will Jungkook have to live with this sense of vigilance?